Hi everyone, I'm Kent Louie, science teacher and talking head. Talking about science education and broadcasting from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. This is episode 99. Question: how do we traditionally set up our grade book? Answer: we have two categories, am I right? We have a category for assignments and homework, and we have another one for tests and quizzes. Now, this is an efficient way of marking. But the problem is it doesn't give a lot of information with regards to the aspects of science that a student is strong or weak in. On the other hand, a standards-based grading marks book would have categories that would reflect the standards or the skills. In BC, we have 6 curricular competencies or skills, and my marks book technically should have a category for each one. One for question predicting, one for planning and conducting, one for process analyzing, etc., etc. Now, assessing these skills individually provides a better picture of what a student can or cannot do in science. But the problem is, of course, it is time consuming to assess and report on each one of these individually and regularly, throughout the term. So today, I want to talk about how to make the standards-based grading marks book simpler by combining similar skills and forming larger categories. But before I continue, handouts for this episode are available at realsciencechallenge.com/EP99. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, in BC again, the ministry published 6 curricular competencies or skills that we're supposed to teach and assess in science education. There seems to be, though, some significant overlap between certain skills. So, as a department, to make things more efficient and easier to handle, we decided to combine 2 skills. All right, so these are the 6 skills that the ministry has prescribed. We decided to combine these 2 skills, evaluating and applying and innovating, because of significant overlap. Okay. What's the overlap? Well, we thought that both of them were like higher order skills, all right? So it'd be easier to develop kind of questions and tasks that tapped into higher order skills together as opposed to separately, okay? So now we have 5 curricular competencies that we were, or 5 categories, that we were reporting on. Now, for next year though, we're switching things up. We're combining 2 more skills because of significant overlap and because it'd be easier to mark them together. So we're combining for next year these 2 skills, all right, into one category, all right? And of course, this category still remains. So now we actually have 4 categories, all right? So notice that the skills aren't going anywhere. We're still teaching and assessing the skills. We've just kind of recategorized them into larger categories to save time. Okay, and to make things easier to assess because of, again, significant overlap. All right, so now these categories are called question conducting, comprehending and analyzing, connecting and applying, and communicating. Okay, so fewer categories hopefully means less time to complete marks while still teaching and reporting on the same skills that make up a rounded science education. Because remember, we're not getting rid of the skills, we're just packaging them together, the ones that are similar. Okay, now, you're probably thinking, what if we were to combine more and more skills together? Let's say, for example, we combine it down to 2 categories, all right? So, we have our 4. Why don't we just package these ones over here into one mega category? And let's just call this one science skills, and let's call this one science concepts. Sounds pretty okay, right? Well, this would be too much simplification, because we would just end up with something that looks like this, where you have assignments and tests again. Because, in practice, we would say, okay, assignments, that's really just science labs. And tests, that's really just science concepts. So we end up coming back to the same problem. So having more categories is more work. I understand that. Even 4 categories might be a lot of work because we do have to come up with assessments for those categories. But ultimately, it allows us to see the different parts of a rounded science education that students are strong and weak at. So going forward, what I recommend is that you look at your standards, right, and start combining similar standards under larger categories. This will definitely save time with your gradebook and your practices, your assessment practices in the long run. But don't overdo it, all right? Make sure that even though you're combining skills together, the overall essence of this science education is for students to be able to perform those science skills that are so important for science education. That's it for this episode. Please smash the like or subscribe button or leave a comment below. And handouts once again are at realsciencechallenge.com/EP99. Thanks for watching. Let's talk science education again soon.